Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today marks the first day of my fall break, my 1 week long vacation from work, which makes me so happy, so relaxed and very ready for getting a lot of reading done. So I thought that in order to start off this fall break, I would take you through all the books I plan on reading in the upcoming week, even though I don't expect to get through all of them, but I hope to start all of them, most of them, I don't know yet. Maybe I will find other books to read as well. I will read whatever I feel like, but at the moment, these are the books I'm in the mood for, and let's just get started on the titles. Let's first of all get rid of all the cat fur in our eyes. Good. Then we can get started. I literally just had the most amazing chocolate, which now makes me want more. I don't have any more, which is good maybe, but I want more. The very first book I'm going to show you is one I'm currently reading. I'm currently reading one book. Thank you for that. That book is a big Hungarian classic, which I was a bit apprehensive about picking up and reading. I've had it on my shelves for over a year, I believe. But then someday last week, I felt an urgent need to actually pick up this book and read it. I felt in the mood for a big classic that would make me feel comfortable, take me back to those days in which you had great balls and you had dances, great dinners, nature, courting with all the ladies and all the men. I love that stuff. So I decided to pick up the first book in the trilogy called They Were Counted by Nicholas Banfi. This is just the first book and it's over 600 pages, but as you can see, I've already read half of it. I flew through the first 300 pages during the last 3 days. So needless to say, I am loving this. This was exactly what I was in the mood for. It's very well written in the way that it's not too dense, it's not too comprehensive of a story. There are a lot of characters in it, and in the first 50 pages we get a lot of name dumping, which I had to get through those pages, but at the same time they were also really good to read and comfortable to read. And then once the story gets started, it's just the most beautiful love story. It's a story about politics. It's also a story about making your own choices in life and choosing your own directions. It's just a really great book, which I'm so happy that I decided to pick up and read. And once I finished it, I have the second one on my shelves and I have the third one coming for me in the mail, because of course I had to order that one once I got started on this one. But I think that I'm going to take a small break from that book at the moment and continue reading some other books which I've been in the mood for. First one on the top of my pile is Nevernight by Cristo, the first book in a fantasy adult duology. That's all I really know. I also know that I read the first chapter from this book in the summer because I did a video in which I sampled some chapters from different books I didn't own in order to find out if I wanted to buy it and read more, and I loved the first chapter of this one, so I bought it. I now have it to read and I feel like I'm in the mood for some dark fantasy. I think that the main character has a desire for revenge because her father was killed and now she is out to seek all the people who damaged her father and who damaged her. And I'm pretty sure it's a pretty dark and mysterious story, which is not for the faint-hearted. I'm very much in the mood for that these days, and as you can see, I've already placed a bookmark in the book because I'm all ready to go. And if I end up really loving this book, I'm definitely going to pick up the sequel immediately and finish this duology. Then I have a book which is very different from those heavy classics and fantasy stories I just showed you, and that is not my cat. I thought he was about to arrive, but no. That is a Jojo Moyes book. This is the second book in her Me Before You trilogy, and this is the Danish title. I believe that in English this one is called After You, but let me check. Yes, After You. And I don't expect too much from this book, I admit that. I expect to be entertained, and I feel like I am going to need a very light chicklet story, which will be a small break from those heavy stories I'm currently reading and which will just entertain me. And I also kind of connect Jojo Moyes with autumn because I read most of her books over autumn. So I think that this is the natural choice for when I'm in the mood for that kind of story. And then we have the last book of the bunch, which is a book. I'm not sure I'm going to actually pick it up this week, but I have been very much in the mood for it, and I know that when I'm in the mood for a book, I really should pick it up because it's the best start to give a book. I'm pretty sure I'm going to like this one, but I'm also pretty sure that it's a big project that I'm not sure I'm going to be ready to take on right now. Anyway, let me show you the book, and then maybe sometime in the near future you will also actually hear my thoughts on it because I am reading it. And the book is The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexandre Dumas. I have this gorgeous hardback penguin cloth bound edition, which has been waiting for me for years and years. The reason why I got in the mood for it lately is because I read about it with some French students of mine. We read some of the synopsis in French, we talked about this period, and we talked about this main character, and I felt so much in the mood afterwards to go straight home and pick up this book. I didn't do it because, as I said, it's quite a big endeavor. I believe this is my biggest book on my shelves. It's about 1200 pages, so it's not something you just pick up on a whim. But it's still on my mind, and I still feel like now is the time of my life to actually pick up this book and read it. I have been considering actually to get myself a lighter paperback version, just because this one is a hardback. It's pretty heavy, and these editions are very fragile, so that the print on the beautiful covers come off when you read them, and I don't want to ruin this beautiful book. So I think that while I'm considering actually picking it up, I might research which paperbacks edition are out there. Maybe I will get it in French just to practice my language. But nevertheless, this might be happening not this week, but maybe during this autumn or winter. I might actually take on this huge project. And I hear that it's an amazing adventure story that some people devour in a few days. That's pretty hard to believe, but that would be wonderful if that actually turned out to be the case. Besides from reading, I'm obviously also going to spend the next week drinking a lot of coffee, relaxing, spending time with my friends and family, and also spending time watching some of the TV shows I'm currently watching. I have to tell you about late last night, because last night the Netflix show published their new show called The Haunting of Hill House, which is a show based on the Shirley Jackson novel. I've never read the novel, but I have heard of it, and it's on my wish list. But I was ready to just go into that show and watch it and see if I liked it. And the thing is that it's very scary, so scary so that I had to turn off the volume, I had to look away, and I had a hard time falling asleep last night. But it was really excellent. It had the perfect mood for October, and I feel like it's not really an exact replica of the book. I feel like this is a series that has been inspired by the book, but it's also very much its own interpretation of how that story from the book could be interpreted in our modern world. Needless to say, I'm going to continue watching that show during this fall break, but I'm going to be careful and maybe just watch it when it's light outside and I actually have a chance to watch the entire episode without turning down the volume and hiding behind my cat. Another show I'm currently watching is one that was published on Netflix yesterday as well, and it's the one with Christine McConnell. I'm pretty sure that's her name. She is an Instagram star. She is famous for producing and baking these beautiful inventive cakes. I think that's it at least. And now she has her own Netflix show, which is a weird combo of a baking show and a horror show with some humor in it. I find it very endearing and I actually quite like it. I'm 3 episodes in now, and I think there's only about 6 episodes in total, so I definitely plan on watching these upcoming days as well. And then to break up all that heavy horror stuff, I also watch Jane the Virgin. I'm currently in the middle of the the 3rd season, and I'm also currently watching The Good Wife. I'm currently on the 5th season of that one. So those 2 shows are a good way to break off that heavy ambience that we get in those other shows. So yeah, I am in for a very cozy fall break. I'm super excited about it. I'm looking very much forward to a whole week of relaxation and reading and watching and enjoying time with my family and friends. And that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed hearing about my upcoming reading plans and plans in general. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day, everyone. Happy reading.